Hey everyone, hope you're well. I can't believe it's Friday at last. I'm knackered after what was quite a quick week, but it's a busy week. Lots going on at work. I was hoping that this would be a video where I'd go, right, Claire went into school, had an update today. We're trying to nurse Oliver back in on a full-time timetable. All of these bits and pieces that were supposed to be a milestone along the progress to getting him back to full-time. And here we are, a week and a half in. And they basically said, we haven't heard on EHCP still. We've got to carry on as normal. Half days all next week again, no change, nothing doing. And I don't really know what to say at that point, because it's like, okay, I get it. They need to have somebody there. They need to have like a TA to work with him. But I don't really know. I've emailed the woman twice. We tried to ring a number and nothing happened. And she just told the school she's waiting for other schools to come back to her about stuff. It just seems really weird. I don't really get it. I feel like now I'm at a point where Monday I need to be having a proper rant at people, because I thought that something would happen in the background. Claire was going in today with some sort of expectation around what would happen next. She had gone in hoping that we could get them to agree to have Oliver at lunchtimes, because the lady that picks him up Tuesdays and Thursdays can't get there till 1:30, and that's when lunchtime ends. So I said to Claire, I asked them, can he just come out of lesson, go to lunch, and then get picked up after lunch? They just said, nope, we haven't got anyone to look at him over lunchtime, which doesn't seem right at all. I kind of feel like that's just a cop-out. They told us he wasn't getting one-to-one care. They told us he wasn't on a one-to-one thing, that he would have to lump it with the rest of the class. That was what we were told all last term, and yet what we're being told now is the reason he can't go in is because there's not someone there to work with him. It's confusing. I need to give him a call and actually talk to him. I talked to Claire about it briefly earlier, and she said they just both agreed it wasn't going to happen. They didn't have the resources. They did say he's had a really good week. Apparently he got one of these red slips because he finished reading a book and just threw it. He was like, I'm done, see ya. And he didn't intend to hurt anyone. It missed me a bit because he didn't intend to hurt anyone. Didn't intend for anything bad to happen. He was just finished with it and discarded it. Apparently it did like fly at somebody. I don't know if it caught them. If it did, it's a book. I mean, he was literally just discarding it. Seems like a weird one, but I get that they're treating it as like that's bad, that's inappropriate behaviour. You shouldn't do that, so that's the slip. Apparently he also got one for playing with a stick and, I don't know, poking people with it, part of a game or whatever. But I'm kind of just, I'm glad they didn't ring me and have a hissy fit about it. That's positive. But I don't know, I feel like what my friend was saying about the expectations and the way we're complaining or pushing back or whatever, I do feel like it's been going around in my head that maybe we are being too soft about it, and I don't know where our rights are. I'm going to get onto liaise after I've finished recording and just say to them, where do we stand on this? Because they've got a duty to have him. It's bothering him. It's pushing him out of classes that he should be learning in, and aside from all of the really important things about affecting his education, it's also just costing us an absolute bomb. Like, having somebody come and have him for 12:30 till 5:45 each time is just stupidly expensive. I mean, we could send Emily and Ben into nursery for a month in what a week of that costs, and it's just unreasonable, really. And considering they've got a duty to just have him in, and they're going to have him in, I don't really get it. I'd almost rather they just had him in the full days and we dealt with the issues that arose from it at this point, because it just seems like the EHCP people are dilly-dallying, and I don't know, I just feel like I'm at a point where I may have to start fighting this back because it's not good enough. I feel like I shot myself in the foot yesterday a little bit doing my video about them playing outside in one way and another. And not because I disagree with myself or that I've, in hindsight, decided I was wrong, because I still feel like we're doing the right thing, and despite their judgment on that, we are still letting him play out. We can still keep an eye on him. Emily's out there with him when we, aren't. When we're in the middle of, say Claire wants to cook dinner, Emily's playing with him. They're literally up front. I can see them out the window from here now, which is why part of the reason I've been recording here while I do it is so I can watch them while I'm doing it. Next door neighbour's grandma is also out playing with them, because I believe even though she wasn't involved yesterday, the kids were all out playing tag, and basically Oliver's friend was having a meltdown, and then Oliver was having a meltdown, and then one of the kid's brothers came out and was like screeching at his sister because she was causing some of it. And I don't feel like those kids were in the wrong. I don't think they were doing anything malicious. They were basically playing tag, ad, tig, whatever it's called, and his friend didn't like being it, and Oliver was, they were all playing the game and tagging her, and she didn't like it. But then it was getting really, this girl kept tagging her because she was the easiest one to get, and it was just driving her nuts. And then it upset her, and then she calmed down, and then they went to play hide and seek. When everyone calmed down, they were like, let's play hide and seek. They'd agreed to not play tig anymore. And then a couple of people went and hid at the park where Oliver can't go and his friend can't go because stranger danger, we don't let them out of our sights, all of that stuff. We refused to let them. So then Oliver went into full-on meltdown outside. It was really hard getting him in without... I mean, by the point of them both having a meltdown, neighbours were coming out to have a check that there was nothing untoward going on. One of the kids who was playing with them accidentally trod on something that ended up splintering into her foot, which was a drama. Poor Claire had to go out and help her with that and help her get home. Yeah, I think all the neighbours were just like, what is going on out there tonight? Fortunately, it wasn't just Ollie and his friend. It wasn't just two meltdowns and that was the noise. It was the foot thing. It was the boy screaming at his sister. So it was kids being kids, but it just felt like I'd sat here going, yeah, you know, it's all part and parcel, it's all important, it's all good, it's really healthy. And then, I mean, I do think that was probably healthy. I feel like they all got to know each other a bit. It was a baptism of fire in that they were all properly getting at each other. But then they all kind of said goodnight to each other and went in, and, you know, Ollie was fine and he said goodnight to his friend and it was really cute again and all of this. And it's like, okay, the other kids aren't out today, different kids are out today. And I keep sort of checking whether they'll pop out, but I'm wondering whether part of the reason they're not out is because one of them got a bit hurt and that. But yeah, it was one of those really random, I just thought, I can't believe I've talked about how healthy this all is, and then the whole street have just been like, oh my word, what are they doing? But yeah, it's still good, it's still healthy, it's still fun. We did have to talk to him about the fact that he can't do stuff like that because of stranger danger. I really don't know how else other than just constantly telling him to get him to understand it. Even his friend, she's like 2 years older, so she said, oh, she's about a year older, sorry, I'm forgetting that Ollie's 7 in a month. She said to him, I used to be like that, I just grew out of it. It's quite interesting, actually. Like, she heard me explaining to him, he doesn't listen about strangers, he talks to people, and we have to stop him talking to strangers, and we have to stop him being too familiar with strangers. And it was interesting that she was sort of away, and she just sort of come up and went, I used to do that a lot as well, and my mummy and daddy kept telling me not to, and then I grew out of it. And I was just like, and then I thought, well, hopefully she'll talk to Oliver about it and help him see the light, because that is something, I mean, we're still never going to let him go off to the park on his own. It just doesn't feel like, I feel like that is a line in the sand that we wouldn't cross because it's not safe. I just feel like I've got all these nervous things that worry me in my head, like he would just fall for something. And I know that sounds, I don't know, maybe I'm unfair, but I just, my gut tells me if someone said to him, come look in my car, I've got something I need to show you, he would go out of curiosity and he just wouldn't think stranger danger. Whereas I feel like Emily's old enough, she'd get it. I feel like, you know, we just keep drumming it into him. I just feel like he wouldn't listen. He'd go with the moment. He'd say, oh, they seem nice. I just don't trust him with that. And I'm hoping, I mean, I don't know what age I can expect. I it's an impossible question. I don't know what age he'll finally start getting it, but I guess that's part of it. Everyone's different, aren't they? So I don't know. But yeah, anyway, it's the weekend now. Really excited about having 2 days off with everybody. We've got Pokemon Go on Sunday. I think I mentioned before. Ollie wants to do that. He's excited to go catch some shinies. Other than that, I think we're just taking it easy. I really want to just lay around and do nothing tomorrow. I think Tottenham are going to ruin my day because they're playing and they're playing Palace, so that means we're going to lose probably because they're a bit of a bogey team. Other than that, I don't know if Claire wants me to dig stuff up. She started doing, she's off on Fridays, and I come home and she'd been polyfillering all the different bits and pieces of the house, so we didn't have to worry about all that. I kind of wanted to do it. I want to do the hole in the wall because I feel like that would be interesting to do, but she went around with it because she couldn't resist just squirting up all the different cracks in the stairs and stuff. So we're like inching closer to our house being nicer. We decided we might just do one little job a week, like paint a room or paint this or do that, and then in like 2 years time the house will probably be nice enough and we'll go, oh, let's flog it or something stupid. But yeah, we definitely need to start doing that. If I was any good at it and felt like it was worthy of doing, I'd film it, but I feel like we'll just be making a hash of everything and wrecking the place. But maybe when we start actually doing proper stuff, I can film a before and after and all of that. I have been meaning to, because Claire painted Ben's room with this awesome moon on the wall and stars, and one side's day, one side's night, and I tried to convince her to do an in-between in the middle, but it kind of ended up looking a bit odd, so she just painted it blue. But yeah, I've always wanted to film in there and I keep forgetting to do it, and as time goes by he's going to wreck it because that's what kids do. But yeah, I'll have to film in there at some point. I think that'd be fun. Anyway, I'm waffling a bit now, sorry, but everything seems good. School are starting to be a little bit awkward, and I don't, again, it's still his teachers fine, the head's fine, I get some of what they're saying. I just feel like, I don't know, part of me feels like maybe we need to be a bit more forceful, and I'd like advice if anyone's got it on whether we can be, really. I mean, it seems odd, it seems contradictory. That's the thing. It seems like they told me he wasn't getting one-to-one, and they just needed, I don't even know what they need the funding for if he's not got one-to-one support. I'm a bit confused on that. I'm a bit at a loss, and I also kind of feel like if their concern is he wouldn't be there in 2 months, which it won't happen, then surely it doesn't really matter anyway, because they've been given a year's worth of funding for him already, and they can spend that on the 2 months he's there and then forget about it, surely. I don't know. A friend of mine who I mentioned actually yesterday, same friend, said that's not really a reason to do it, because unless we asked him to be moved to another school, they wouldn't do it, and we're not going to do that, so it's kind of in our control. But I feel like we're just getting excuses, because I get it, they're being ultra conservative. They're thinking, let's not do anything until we have to do something, and let's not do anything rash. And I don't want to dump him in for 5 days. I don't want to dump him in for anything. And it's genuinely not just because of the cost, even though the cost is a big problem. It's just right now he's doing well, and I don't want him to lose faith and lose face and get fed up and get ground down and blah, blah, blah. And it's like dragging him out against his will and pushing him from pillar to post. He's uncertain. He doesn't know where he's going to be. He asks us, am I in all day tomorrow? Every time. And we're like, nope, half day, sorry. You know, so bless him. I just want him to have continuity, and I kind of want to just get into the thick of it all and start learning year 2. Just start being like, okay, he's there all day now, it's much harder, let's see what we can do, let's balance it. What does he need? Does he need to eat more at lunchtime to give him the energy? Does he need to sleep more at night? Does he need a bit of a rest? Does he need more of a break? I just want to get into it. I want to start exploring what it is he needs and getting that in place so that he can do it, and then, you know, see how year 3 goes in a year. Just, this seems like it's just a halfway house, and too much stuff is in a halfway house for me at the moment. It's been a busy week, but I mentioned about work and just how I'm doing several different roles because everything's too quiet, and it's like, I just want a consistent, this is what it is, this is what it is, this is what it is, job done. Anyway, I'm going to start. I can hear some noise. They're near the house, so I can hear them in the front garden. I want to check what it is. Thanks for watching. I hope you're all well. Let me know what you're up to at the weekend. I just seen there's a new Rocky film out, and I'm like, not Rocky film, Rambo. And I'm like, Stallone has a new film out, and I didn't know it was happening. Rambo Last Blood, I think it's called. I don't know if I need to find out whether that's going to be any good. I quite enjoyed the other 4 Rambo films. So yeah, I'm intrigued. That just snuck out. I didn't know Stallone was working on that, so I'm going to check it. And yeah, that's your lot. I forgot what I was saying. I was wrapping up. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.